today with Dan Thomas. For some of you guys don't know, he's an old school guy, one of the true vets like myself. Beat 2 UFC champions, Jens Pulver, Matt Serra, a ton of other big names. He's a guy, I don't know, probably 15-year career like myself. He's a guy that I watched growing up, and it's nice to have another OG. So what have you been up to since you stopped fighting?
Oh my goodness, I've been doing everything everything under the sun, man. I've kind of turned into a Renaissance man after the fighting career. So I've been coaching and broadcasting and doing a bunch of personality stuff and reality shows and acting and so on and so forth. But life is great after I retired.
Yeah, man, it's good. It's myself, I kind of went away from the sport for a year or two, but now pulling back in, it feels really good to be involved without fighting, like helping trainers and following the sport, doing stuff where I'm staying involved but not actually fighting is kind of nice.
Ain't it? It's like, like you get all the benefits of being a fighter without getting your ass kicked and being embarrassed of getting your ass kicked.
Yeah, as much as I love the sport, guys like you, we know it's a tough sport. It's rough. When you have a bad night, we have a bad night at work, it's really bad. We're out there getting our ass kicked. And like you said, it's not to get your ass kicked, it's like the embarrassment. It's more than just getting beat up. It's embarrassing. You lose money. It's rough. You're banged up. It's a tough sport we did. Even though I love it and glad I did it, sometimes it's nice not to have to go out there and do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you get beat up, and then like you got to hear about it over and over and over again, and watch the video clips about it over and over and over again. You're like, oh my god, this is the worst.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything's under a microscope for sure. Now, Din, I wanted to talk to you because you were at UFC 264. We saw you. We were actually at Extreme Couture with Jake, and you had the cameras following you. What was going on there? That was for UFC Connected. And how was that experience, having the cameras follow you and take you all around Vegas, and you take them around and show them what you do?
Well, I mean, like I said, since I've retired, I've gotten used to like cameras following me. But I mean, even as a fighter, you kind of have to get used to cameras because like that's part of the job, like selling yourself and being in front of a camera and being able to connect and speak to the people. But that particular show was a show that they wanted to follow me to see, kind of get the perspective of like what a broadcaster does the week of the fight and some of the things that I was doing the week of the fight. So, and I'm cool with Eric, Nick Six, and over Extreme Couture. So I was like, yo, man, I want to come through and just hang out. Do you mind if I bring cameras with me? And he was like, nah, don't worry about it. I'm sure that, cameras are Extreme Couture all the time anyway with so many high profile people. But yeah, so like it's cool. It's cool, man. I don't mind sharing what my lifestyle is about because again, in fact, I love to share what my life is about after retiring because I think that a lot of fighters need that. They need to see that there is life after fighting because this is why we get so many guys going back into it because they have no life. Mm-hmm. And what guys need to do is when they retire is to develop another life. And if I can share that with people that there is life after fighting, then I've done my job.
Yeah, man, I agree. Like you said, I'm kind of in the same transitional period, and it's like, you see some other guys we know see not doing so well, and it's sad when we see guys we've known not doing well. So it's great seeing you do good, and like I said, it seems like you've definitely been coaching. Because I love the techniques you were showing. You were very, very clear, straight to the point. So it's obvious that if you haven't been coaching, you certainly know how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, and coaching is, but and Jake, like back in the day when we were coming up, you had to kind of coach yourself.
Mm-hmm. We coach each other a lot. Yeah, fighters coach each other a lot.
Yeah, so it was like all my training partners back then, back in the 90s and early 2000s, like I had to teach them how to fight so that they could be my training partner. So it was like you knew there was a process to it, and just through the years, like as the techniques evolved, like you evolved with them, but learning and teaching was always kind of natural to us back in the day because like we always had to teach people how to do it, or else we wouldn't have nobody to train with.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think as old school guys, I'm always like, I find myself always coaching, even though I'm not necessarily a coach. Like, I started coming to Extreme Couture to get to work, and next thing I know, I'm kind of coaching, just like unofficially, just being there because we grew up grooming guys and getting them better, and the new school guys didn't necessarily have that, so it just kind of comes natural to always try to help these guys improve.
Yeah, these new school guys got it good, man. All they got to do is worry about themselves. We always had to worry about the team. It was always the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you always had to put the team because when you were out of camp, you had to show up for your training partners. They wouldn't be there for you. It was very important for the team. Some of these new guys, they just show up. The gym, there's always people. Their coaches put their schedules together. It's nice.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah, so we were born like 10 years too late. That's really what it is.
Right? Yeah, we caught some of the good part. We were able to make a little bit of the money, a little bit of the fame. We caught a little bit of it. We didn't totally miss it, but didn't totally catch the hype either. So
yeah, true indeed.
Yeah, well, talking about that, how do you feel the sport has evolved since the first? You were there, like with Jake as well. Like you guys, in my opinion, laid the foundation for the sport itself. How do you notice the growth, not just in North America but globally? I know you're kind of all over doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that changed really, I mean, like it's so much better now. Like it's an entire sport now and not just like separated. And obviously that's pretty obvious, but I mean, but back then I think, Japan had a larger presence. Like you don't really see that Japanese presence anymore. And it's kind of sad actually, because like the Japanese martial art culture was so dope, man. And like you really appreciated that, but you don't see it no more. So, but it's different in that aspect. But I would say this: it's better now. Like and this is when I realized that we made it. I was sitting on an airplane watching Robbie Lawler and Rory McDonald fight, and I was like, I'm on an airplane and I'm watching this fight. So to me, I was like, that's when I know MMA made it.
Yeah, it's truly international. And I think you fought before me even. Like I was, it wasn't on TV. It was, we had to go on Indian reservations, no cable deal. You would tell people what you're doing and they'd be like pro wrestling. So you were really old school. I think you came a year or two before me and it was completely different. So it's, like you said, overall, it's way better now. I do agree. I was lucky enough to fight in Japan and it was great. Japan's one of the birthplace of a lot of the martial arts. So to go fight over there was wonderful. So it's sad seeing that drop, but overall, 100% agreement with about it being way better now.
Yeah, I've heard like that Japanese scene, like for me, like that was my goal. Like my goal was like just to fight in Japan. Like that was it. And then I did that so early, then it was like, what else now? But I mean, but now it's like, these kids have a career. Like you can start MMA with the idea that I want this to be my career. Like back then it wasn't like that. It was like, you just kept fighting and then like maybe you could get a big enough fight to where you didn't have to work or you're just lazy enough to not want to work. But nowadays, like you can go in thinking, yeah, I want this to be my career.
Yeah, no, 100%. You get people training full time.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So how do you feel about, the sport kind of being intertwined with some of this boxing stuff? You see it you saw Askren move over. You see your guy Tyron Woodley's taking on Jake Paul. You think that's good for the growth of the sport? I know people don't love those Jake Paul, Logan Pauls, but they're polarizing. And the one thing they do have is a massive, massive reach across. Like they have a global reach in themselves, whether you like what they do or not. How do you feel about the sport kind of mixing in and blending in with those so-called celebrity fights?
Well, I don't really think, to be honest, I don't think that it really has a big impact on it or much to do with it. I think they're totally separated. I think it's great for pop culture, because it just gives people more to do and like. But I don't think it really affects MMA. I don't think people are going to look at the Jake Paul Tyron Woodley fight and think, man, Calvin Kattar couldn't beat. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that it's totally separated. I think that it's just a big difference. I think people really know what it is, and it's just a spectacle. And as a spectacle, it's great. Like I'm going to watch it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to watch.
I watch it too.
Me too.
But I'm not going to look at it and be like, man, I can't wait to see these guys, move up the ranks and win a championship. Like that's not going to happen. But from a spectacle, pop culture, it's great.
Yeah, I think the three of us are all in agreement. Me and Chris talked about that before. We like them for everyone hates on them, but we like them. But we're not taking them as rankings. We're not saying these guys are world champions, but it's fun.
They're great events.
So with all these freak show fights and older guys coming out to fight, would you ever come in and fight like another older guy or celebrity, or are you 100% done with the fight game?
Nah, man, I'm done, man. I don't. I mean, I would probably like do like a 30-second.
You're thinking about it. You're thinking about it now.
as long as I didn't have to train or diet or do anything.
That's what I'm saying. Get another guy your age that's retired.
Yeah, get another guy my age, and it was fun. I would probably do that, but like I would never like take it serious or train or do anything. Man, hell no. I mean, I barely train. Yeah.
Running sprints. No. Yeah, all the hard part.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do none of that. Forget that.
That's awesome, man. That's hilarious. Speaking of people coming back, TJ Dillashaw's coming back after a long layoff this weekend. How do you see that going? He's got a tough fight.
Yeah, he does. I mean, but it's hard to say because we don't know what he's going to look like. We don't know how. I'm sure they used to train together. We don't know how that used to go, and we don't know if it's going to be like anything like that now. So I mean, it's an interesting fight. I mean, TJ Dillashaw is obviously a very good fighter. Mm-hmm. We know what Corey Sandhagen brings to the table. Yeah. It's an interesting matchup. I think it's one that needs to be done. You know, obviously TJ coming back needs to be tested. So this is a real test for him. Very kind of similar in styles, but very different in body types and approach. But I'm interested in it. I mean, you know, TJ's coming back from this, you know, this thing of, you know, being suspended for drug use. But you know, he's obviously got no shame in his game. Like for me, I would be kind of embarrassed, but like he's obviously got no shame in his game.
Yeah, you know, I feel like he's got a lot of proof too, because the question is, was he successful because of drug use, or was that just a little aid that helped him? So that's the question. You know, I know they're doing heavy testing on him now, heavy drug testing. So it's an interesting fight. And I actually didn't know these two trained together. Was that back at Alpha Male, or where were they at?
No, I think they trained together. I forgot. I think it might have been in Colorado.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, because he was in Elevate for a while.
But rumor has it, and this is just rumor, and if you want to quote me on it, I don't give a damn anything. But I heard Corey used to give him the business. That's what I heard.
Oh. Yeah, I mean he's acting confident leading in, so you know, wouldn't surprise me. But we all train exactly fight a different thing too. But it does it can have a mental aspect. But beating someone training, you're gonna go in there with a lot of confidence.
Well, I mean, you know, Corey's had an amazing run. And he probably could have been like, nah, I want to wait for a title shot. And they were like, nah, you want to fight TJ? He was like, hell yeah, I want to fight TJ. So obviously he knows something that we don't know.
He seems very, very confident when he almost seems like out of his normal behavior level of confidence. So I do like that. And that does, as soon as you said that, it kind of clicked a couple bells for me there. Now, you were at American Top Team for 19 years. What's it like when two guys that are in the same gym training kind of have to cross paths? Everybody knows sort of what happened with Covington and Jorge Masvidal, that kind of thing. As a coach, and is that something that's difficult? Do you see that percolating kind of ahead of time? And what kind of stuff do you have to do to avoid that from happening to where it's spilling over into the gym? Or is it a good thing when it spills into the gym? Some people like that competitive, fiery atmosphere too. Like,
you know, it first happened at American Top Team with Tyron Woodley and Robbie Lawler. And prior to the fight being announced, it was cool. Like everybody was like, oh man, this is so good. We got two guys from the gym. This just means we're the best gym in the world. This is a really good thing. But then when it was real, then it really spilled out and was like, it got ugly. Mm-hmm. And it really did get ugly, man. It was very ugly. And I'm sure it would happen. You know, those guys probably wouldn't want ever to happen again. So I think that the protocol now would really be to just, you know, make sure everybody's separated and everything's cool. Because, like I said, when they were just talking about it, I was like, yeah, man, this is good. But then when it happened and it was like it was signed, and you know, Tyron started showing up, then it was kind of like, nah, this ain't, you know, he ain't one of us.
Yeah, I couldn't train at the same gym with someone I'm fighting. There's just no way, you know. Like you said, made it like sounds cool in theory, but the shit's real. When you're in there fighting someone, the same guy coming to the gym, I'd be like, hell no. I didn't end up getting a fight before the fight, probably.
Yeah, I mean, but there's just too much at stake when you think about it. Like half of your purse is riding on this.
Yep.
You know, and you're looking at guys that like you're supposed to be cool with, and they're training somebody to beat you and to change your life. Like it's not really.
Yeah,
cool.
we're not cool anymore after that. So
yeah, it's not cool.
I never could. I know it's a shit situation. We have two guys in the same gym, but there's no way. I would have to either leave or have that guy leave. So not something I would be able to do.
It's better if they leave or somebody leaves.
Yeah, someone's got to leave. And that was a situation with Gilbert Burns and Usman, You know, I know they were both close to Henry and stuff in the team, but Usman just decided to leave, knowing I think they knew those two would be competitive, and I think likely they'll fight again. That's, you know, the two of the very best guys right now.
Yeah, and I think Usman, that was a good move for Usman too. Like Usman is, and what I love so much about Usman is he's always learning and always getting better. Yeah. And for him to go to Trevor Whitman and be like, yo, man, like humbly and be like, yo, I need what you got, and he did. He took it, and I mean, he looks amazing right now. Like,
yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Henry Hoof. I think he's a good trainer, but he did look even better. The combination of that, you know, that jab looked improved.
Man,
maybe the elevation training might be helping as well, having that Colorado air.
Whatever it was, like the combination of him taking what Henry gave him and then learning what Trevor gave him, it's like, I mean, he looks unbeatable.
Yeah, I know he looks just because, like I said, Gilbert Burns is an amazing fighter, and he, after the adjustments on the first round, he just picked him apart.
Yeah, indeed.
So, do you anticipate Usman finishing Colby Covington again then in the next fight? If you had to make a prediction on that, I mean, Kamaru Usman's striking is just like you said; it's just getting so much better. The shot he landed on Masvidal was it was violent, man. You're not used to seeing that. He's more of a, when I first started really paying attention to Usman, he gave me kind of that almost like George St. Pierre style of a fighter at welterweight, and now he's just mixed in this crazy boxing power ability. Like, I mean, I don't know who's going to stop him.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think I think Gilbert Burns might have the best chance of beating him. I really do. Like, I don't know how Colby beats him if he does. Colby doesn't punch hard enough. Like, he's not a power puncher. So he's a volume puncher, and he can't get his volume off on Usman because Usman is too long for him. Usman probably even wrestles better than him, at least from an MMA standpoint. So, like, I don't know how Colby beats him. Colby can make it competitive, but I think if they fought again, Usman takes the emotion out of it and just beats him. I think the first time they fought, Usman was like fought him with a little bit of emotion, but I think if he fights him again, I think he takes the emotion out of it and just outclasses him. But I do think that Gilbert Burns presents a better challenge to Usman because one, he's trained with him before, then he fought him. Now he's learned from that. And Gilbert, Jake, Gilbert is a hell of a competitor. He's a hell of a competitor. He's a better competitor than those other guys, which is why he beat Wonderboy. He's just a better competitor. And I think he can make adjustments. I think he gives Usman a better fight. I don't know if he wins, but I think he gives him a better fight.
Yeah, I think he'll get a rematch. As I said, like you said, he's just hungry, and you can't when you're that hungry, it's hard to go against that. And he might be hungrier than Usman even. And it's I expect we'll see them fight again.
Yeah, when he lost, I mean, you saw the emotion come out of him. He was bawling his eyes out. Like, that guy wants that title so bad, and he made the perfect adjustments. And I almost felt like, we did some prediction stuff with our staff at the website, and I saw other people online. I felt like people were almost disrespecting Gilbert Burns going into that fight because he had lost to Usman. Some people had almost assumed like that was going to be a walk in the park for Wonderboy, and I was on the complete opposite side of it. I'm with you guys. I think Burns is the second best fighter in that division, and I think he'll be back knocking on Usman's door.
Yeah, he's got so many tools, man. Like, Burns has so many tools, and he uses them all to his advantage. Whatever he needs to use, he's going to use it, which just makes him, to me, better than all those other guys. And he's got power too, man. Like, he's got power in both hands, and he can knock you out from both sides. So, I mean, he's something else.
Yeah, he's a world champion in jiu-jitsu, good wrestling and knockout power, and the other factor of just being hungry. That's something you can't really add to someone. So,
I mean, he wants to fight Leon Edwards. Like, he wants to. Like, when everybody's like, no, I don't want to. Like, he's calling him out. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. No one wants to fight Edwards, and he's trying to fight him. Exactly. And that right there would be the number one contender fight for sure. There's no way you could argue that would be the number one contender fight.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, are you still involved with American Top Team, or do you have your own schools now?
No, I'm not involved with American Top Team anymore. Like, I really, the thing is, like, when you're in this game for so long, and as I do, like, you meet so many different people, but when you're with a team, it's like you're isolated from the entire world. And I wanted to be able to, like, connect with people and just meet people and share ideas with people, and I couldn't because, like, I'm a part of this affiliation, and it's like, you can't. So I'm just like, you know what, I just wanted to do my own thing and just freelance and just take it back to what it was when I first started. And that's just learn as much as I can, share as much as I can, be able to go to Extreme Couture and be like, yo, here's what I know, guys. Yeah, I'm going to give you this, and then go to another gym. Like, here's what I know, guys. I'm going to give you this. Take it. If you can use it, you can use it. If not, you know what? Somebody might. So, and I didn't want an affiliation. I didn't want to have to be in a group of guys and, wave some flag. I wanted to do my own thing.
Yeah, especially American Top Team is such a massive team. When you're dealing with that many people, it gets a little trickier because there's so many guys they could potentially be fighting. So I would imagine that's I've always been part of small teams, so it's been easy. But when you get these massive teams, it gets a lot trickier.
Oh, it's a mess. And then even within the team, it's a lot of It's a lot of tension and a lot of beef and a lot of clicks. So it's a hard thing to navigate around. And I just didn't want that in my life at this point. I'm getting too old for that.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because I always grew up with a really small team with Cesar Gracie's, Nick and Nate. But now I've been here training at Extreme Couture, and it's I love both. They're different, but the mega team has the advantages of all the training partners and stuff. But it's also, it doesn't have the same small camaraderie of everyone helping. It almost is like you almost have to find your small little clique to help you, because everyone there is not going to be helping you. So it's completely different environment, and both have their advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah, it's a different game, that's for sure. It sounds like it's a different game. Now, speaking of game, I know trash talk's a part of the game. You're at UFC 264. You see the Conor McGregor steps back, his leg breaks, and then you hear kind of what the cameras pick up, and he's threatening them after, and then there's the business on Twitter. Now, I know, I don't think either one of you guys are adverse to some trash talk in the sport. And Jake, I'm going to talk to you about this too. It's been a bit. You were hiking. We haven't even really been able to discuss it since that. Did he cross the line there in your mind, McGregor? Did he go past that fight line, or do you think that's just what comes with the sport, even though it's this craziness? Din, we'll start with you and then Jay.
I mean, yeah, but you know what? Conor's at the point now where he can almost do what he wants. I mean, he brings so much to the table. He can kind of do what he wants. It's up to us to not take him seriously. It's up to us to block him out and go, all right, he's an idiot. He said this stuff. I'm not even going to pay attention to that. I think he's a bit irresponsible because he has so many followers that can look at his behavior. Okay, this is how you should conduct yourself if you want to be super rich and successful. That's a very irresponsible thing to do. But for me, of course, he crossed the line. I almost think he needs to be drug tested for some type of recreational drug, because it sounded to me like he was on something that whole week, from the press conference to even after the fight. He probably should be drug tested, but I think he's just being irresponsible.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, you can if he's bringing people in, you can do it. Personally, I think it's stupid. It makes him look bad, and especially when you're laying on the ground with a broken leg insulting the guy's wife. That's stupid.
Bad luck.
I mean, Dustin's a nice guy, but imagine if no one would have been there, he probably wouldn't need him in his face. If someone's talking crap about my wife, girlfriend, daughter, something like that, I'm fighting them on the spot. And imagine most fighters feel that way.
Yeah. And I think he knew better. I think he knew that there was enough people in that ring or in the cage to protect him, so he could say what he wanted and try to make himself look good and be like, look, you didn't win this fight. My leg is broke. You didn't win this fight. It's like, dude, man, come on, man. We've given you a pass for everything that you've done. You threw a damn dolly through a bus window. You've done so much horrible acts, and everybody's kind of giving him a pass. I think it's about time when people start to look at him and just go, man, let's just let him ride off into the sun. We shouldn't support him no more. We got to ignore him now.
Yeah, he's going to stay big. I think he's going to slowly fade away. Punching old men, all these other allegations with women, just so many things. And I guess he's kind of good for the sport. He brings in eyes, but he's also kind of he's taking it too far. And I think he'll slowly fade out. I'll be really surprised to see him at the top of the game again.
Yeah, there's no way.
I see a guy like Brandon Moreno, and I see Kamaru Usman, Francis Ngannou. Israel Adesanya, even though he's arrogant in his own way, he's great for the sport, though. You see all these other guys that they should be putting that marketing into, like they do Conor. The sport has so many other guys. I'm with you. After that, I don't I couldn't believe when Dana White said, "Oh, they might have to fight again after." I couldn't believe that, because there's nothing I want to see less than that. If they fought 100 more times, Poirier's going to kick his ass 100 out of 100 times. It's just how it is now. It's time to really invest in these new, great, good role model champions they have, like the Morenos, the Ngannous, the Usmans.
I think so too. But you know what? But Dana's a great businessman, and he's going to suck as much out of it as he can. So it's he's not going to leave money on the table just to bring it back to Moreno and Usman and all them. But I agree with. I'm not saying I agree with it, but there's still money to be made with Conor, and they're going to make as much money as they can. But that's their business model. And I gotta respect that.
Yeah, he sells. You can't blame him making money. I feel like you really got to give him an easier opponent. It's gonna be hard though to really sell him as a top guy who doesn't get a win.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to sell that. But it's also got to it's hard because the only fights left for him are marquee names. No one's going to want to see him fight.
Nate. Yeah, but Nate will kick his.
The way he looked against Poirier, I think Nate would smoke him, but
yeah.
So we'll see though.
Yeah, Nate did a good job against Edwards. No one wanted to fight Edwards. That's why they had to get Nate to fight him, because the only person trying to fight him is Gilbert Burns in that division, in my opinion. So it was really cool to see that whole weekend, though. I mean, the buzz was there, but you could tell the Conor fans, they don't have that same belief in him anymore. It wasn't as rowdy.
It
wasn't out in the masses. It wasn't rowdy.
Yeah, because
they really turned on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was quiet. I didn't expect that.
Yes. I mean, especially like at the end of it, they were kind of like, it was kind of embarrassing, actually. I didn't feel bad for him, but I mean, I could see him being embarrassed. Like, man, this is what it's come to.
Yeah. And he's still talking crap on the way out in the stretcher.
Yeah.
Maybe it was probably out of embarrassment. He was just trying to save face because it was like such not a good performance. And then they're still trying to be like, oh, it was a fluke. I broke my leg, which it's half true, but he was getting smoked that whole round until then. And he wasn't looking like he was going to switch his direction.
Yeah, he got mauled that first round.
Oh yeah.
And that's the round he was supposed to win.
Exactly, because he starts fast. I had a lot of Conor fans got mad at me because I Twittered something out about that, and they're all on there being like, "What do you mean it was a fluke?" Oh, man, you guys weren't watching the same fight I was watching. He was getting smoked.
He got mauled.
Dan, last thing I want to ask you here, and then Jake, if you have anything else, we can do that. You see boxing turn into bare knuckle, and now you have the game bred fighting, which is bare knuckle MMA. How do you guys particularly feel? And again, I'm going to ask you both this. What is your thoughts on bare knuckle as an older veteran of the sport? To me, I mean, bare knuckle MMA sounds like we're just waiting on someone to die, but I don't know. I don't know how you feel about that kind.
I mean, I'm not a fan of it, to be honest with you. Like I've given it a chance. I don't hate on anybody who does it, but to me, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not going to knock somebody for doing it, but I'm not going to do it. I don't train anybody for it. I'm not a fan of it. People say what they want. All these guys, they make more money. It's the new thing. But to me, it's like MMA fighters go there because they get kicked out of their organization. Like, I've never known anybody who was faced with like, all right, re-sign with the UFC or go to bare knuckle. And they said, you know what? I'm going to go to bare knuckle. It's never been that situation. It's always been, I got to go to bare knuckle because I still want to fight and nobody else will have me. So to me, I'm not a fan of it, but I'm not going to knock it. Like if these guys want to do it, all more power to them. I'm not really a fan though.
Yeah, you hit it perfect with it's not where they're trying to go. It's where guys go and they get dropped. They make a name somewhere else, they get dropped, they still want to fight, and I guess it does pay good. So they're like, I guess I'll hop and do it. But it's a brutal sport. You're not gonna have a long career in bare knuckle boxing. You're gonna have broken hands, cuts every fight. I mean, they sent me like an email, one time, like, hey, you're interested in fighting, and I just didn't respond because I didn't, nothing against them. I love them. I just didn't want to get an offer and be tempted for a good amount of money to go in there and do a bare knuckle fight and lower myself to that. Not that it's bad these guys doing it. It just wasn't something I wanted to do.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like to me, yeah, and I don't want to be that guy, but to me, it just doesn't interest me, man. I'm just kind of like, let them do it.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll watch it. It's fun to watch sometimes, but not something I want to hop in and do.
Yeah, especially when you get Paige Van Zandt fighting Rachel Ostrovich too. They know how to pick the female main events. I think
maybe I'll watch that one.
Yeah. I think we can all take that one.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yeah. Well, Din, is there anything you want to plug? Anything you got going on? You can kind of let the people know where to find you and everything.
I would just say the easiest, I got always so much stuff going on. It's probably easiest just to find me on social media. Everything is at Din Thomas, DIN Thomas. Just find me there, and everything is good, man. And I appreciate you guys for having me on. And Jake, you're a true legend. I remember watching you fight the first time in Hawaii, and yeah, man, you a true G, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, I love talking to you old school guys, and I don't even think I'm following you on social media. I just realized, so I'm gonna have to go on and add you right after this. And hey, it was great having you on, and great seeing you last week.
Yeah, man. Likewise.
2 OGs of the fight game. Thanks a lot, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Have a good one. Thanks for your time.
All right, y'all. Peace.